Hello and welcome to the Gambling Files podcast, the podcast that's here to talk about all of the big news in the gambling industry, in and from the gambling industry. I'm one of your hosts, John Bruford, joined by your other host, Fintan Costello. I know, he's here. Hello, Fintan.
Hello, John.
It's nice to see you.
It's lovely to see you too.
That's very kind. There's been so much going on in the gambling industry, but where do we start? I know where I'd like to start because I think it can segue neatly into another thing that's happened.
Okay.
Now, our international listeners, just bear with me because we'll get international in a bit. But I saw that Michael Dugher has left his post at the Betting and Gaming Council, the industry trade body in Great Britain.
Me too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he had a good run.
He did, yes. He did. I mean, he had a remarkable run. If anybody else had pulled that shit...
Did they say why he left, or was it just implied?
It's going to a new job.
Oh, okay.
Effective immediately, I think the wording was. But given all the shit that he pulled, God knows. I mean, I'm sure that he's not done anything to be effective immediately.
Let's be really fucking careful here, John.
I'm sure that nothing untoward has happened, but given the things that we know have happened in the past in public forums, then it was a remarkably long tenure. Because if anybody else had pulled that shit, if anybody else had just pulled the roulette boy thing, they'd have been out.
True.
But here's the thing, and I'm not casting spurious allegations. This is talking about a hypothetical dystopian future. I think
this is the first episode we edit. This really feels like I'm not racist, but I'm a bit worried. Really worried, John.
No, but the esteemed Mr. Dugher had some passions in his life, some of which I can state, and some of which I can't. But Nottingham Forest, that's a famous one. He's always putting pictures of himself at the City Ground on social media. And, of course, Nottingham Forest, the club that achieved, I think, probably the greatest achievement in British football in winning the European Cup in consecutive seasons in the early 1980s. So that was pretty great for Nottingham Forest. But also, one of his other passions was for horse racing. Coincidentally, I don't know if you spotted this, but in the recent announcement by the government in the UK, horse racing's been left pretty much alone in the tax thing.
Yeah, but that's, I think,
it's a coincidence. That's why I said it's a coincidence.
The horse racing industry, I think, were very good at lobbying on their behalf in terms of local jobs. Like, all politics is local, right? So if you're the MP for whatever fucking...
Hang on, the horse racing industry is good at lobbying, and the industry's lobby group had somebody in it who is passionate about horse racing. That is precisely the point I'm making.
No, not even. No, I think that's different. I think in terms of like the media coverage and stuff I saw around the horse racing stuff, it was very much from the horse racing industry, not the Betting and Gaming Council. And it was very focused on we're big employers in your constituency.
I'm gonna have to, I'm from Ludlow, which is a town with a horse racing venue, a famous old horse racing venue, loads of stables around it. Would I call horse racing a major employer? No, I wouldn't, because it's not.
Look, the lobbying versus...
But the owners have money.
That's
Coincidence.
So yeah, look, it was a bad budget for the gambling industry, particularly the online part. It's going to be a major look. It's going to have major impact on online operators in the UK. It's going to have major, which then has a knock-on impact of sponsorship of horse racing in the UK. So I think horse racing is actually one of the big losers in this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a win for the offshore market. It's just a win.
Yeah, it is.
It's just another something that makes offshore more attractive.
But speaking of big losers, I think that Mr. Dugher has gone to a position in a like PR firm.
It's like a consultancy business, I think it was. But
yeah, is it Humphreys, something like that? I can't remember. So it's one of the big names that you never hear about because they're
behind the scenes.
Yeah, their clients are probably, arms dealers and stuff like that. So he's gone to a much more respectable. Just kidding. I don't know who their clients are, to be honest, but he has gone to like a consultancy type.
Yeah,
firm.
they're a big firm.
So we wish him the very best of luck, and we will no longer be critical of him or anything he does.
Yeah, and Grania, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on for an interview.
We would love to have you on. We would. We really genuinely would. Because honestly, she's been such a positive force in the BGC, and the BGC has changed. Which does bring me on to my second thing that I wanted to talk about. A similar influential figure that has opened up an organisation that was previously closed and a nightmare to work with. Friend of the podcast, Andrew Rhodes is stepping down from his role as the top man at the Gambling Commission, in the UK regulatory body.
He's done his 5-year stint. He's just coming up to it. I think he's had a huge impact.
Yeah, definitely.
For in a positive way. It's a difficult job. No matter what you do,
it's a fucking nightmare job.
No matter what you do, somebody's unhappy.
However, I am available. If anybody at the Gambling Commission is...
I think you should be aiming for the chairman of the BCG. I think that pays way better. And you can take all the hospitality. Remember what Andrew was telling us? Like, he can't even accept a cup of tea from somebody.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Declared on the register.
You're right. The BGC is the way forward for me.
Get World Cup tickets, rugby tickets.
And I'd probably save the money on the previous incumbent.
There's probably a box. There could be anything.
They've probably got a box at Stamford Bridge. Now you're talking.
Just move in.
But, right, could you do that, do you think? Fuck, that'd be good.
Just have the podcast. It's in your podcast studio. Love it, lads.
Love it, but can you keep it down on a Saturday afternoon? I'm recording.
Putting up the foam.
You joke, I would do that. No. So my theory is that Mr. Rhodes was just staying in position, like some sort of sentry, and he was waiting until Michael Dugher left the BGC. Then he's like, "My work here is done.
The realm is safe." He held the door.
Yeah, we might have to edit this episode. But as you say, it's coming up on 5 years, and that is kind of the ideal tenure in that kind of civil service position.
It's he's a professional civil servant.
Yeah.
This was a posting. He's done a great job on it.
That's the thing. There is so much criticism, and some of it is absolutely justified. But he has definitely changed the Gambling Commission and the approach, and there is much more communication with the industry. And the Commission's hands are tied on so many things. Like the tax thing's set by government, and they just have to go, yeah, all right, we'll go and collect that. Great.
But even when you look at the civil service policies, right? So just the rules they have to follow in terms of their day-to-day on disclosures or conflicts of interest or ethics and stuff. Like, if they go to a meeting and there's sandwiches and drinks provided, that goes onto a register that's published on the website.
Crazy.
With the value. If they get handed a branded umbrella by another regulator, that's on the register. All right, just so I think just their baseline of like, and then that's before like, you know, what's the Daily Mail going to say, right? Or you know, lobbying from politicians and whoever the minister is, and you know, just the whole, and then you've got the industry itself and everything. It's like being a lion tamer. It's unbelievable. Like your baseline is, have I got eaten today? And I don't know. It's a tough gig. It's a tough gig. I think he did a fantastic job, and I think it's big shoes for whoever comes in next. I think it's going to be he's going to be a difficult one to follow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But we'll see. I mean, I should be contacted by them quite soon, so let's see how that shakes out.
Fucking hilarious. Commissioner Bruford. Let's go.
I'd be one of those people like, you know, I'd be on an aircraft or something. I'd be on a flight somewhere in economy, obviously. And there'd be, we've got a medical emergency. Is there a doctor on board? And I'd go striding up and I'd say, let me through. I'm a commissioner. And oh, no, I don't commission those. And then walk back to my seat, looking very important. Yeah, I would quite like a job like that. You know, like where you're quite important. Yeah, I'm not saying I'd be any good at it. That's a very different conversation. But I would quite fancy, yeah. I fancy running the country. I think I could probably do that all right.
Well, I think Keir Starmer's having a bit of the whole Peter Mandelson thing. In a way, it was absolutely the right person to send to a Trump America. Right? Despite, like, you know, his background. But if you want to be in the room, he had all the qualifications.
Did you see? I think it was an LBC clip or something that I saw. LBC's the radio station, if I remember right. There's a socialite, well known in the UK for being a vacuous sort of individual. Lady Victoria Hervey, if I remember correctly. And if you haven't seen this clip yet, you will. It's doing the rounds. She was interviewed on LBC, and she had previously dated Prince Andrew decades and decades ago. And her take on the whole Epstein files thing was, well, you know, this is all rich and powerful people. If you're not in those files, you're a bit of a loser. That's a hell of a take on that. Oh my God, I'm not implicated in the personal files of a pedophile and child sex trafficker. I'm such a loser.
I think I would disagree. I think if you're in the Panama Papers, well done. If you've got like your offshore entities and your fucking, you know, tax structures, for want of a better word, fine. That's a fucking, I would see that as a badge of honor, right? A little fucking tick, right? Epstein files, not so much. But the thing keep in mind is, right? Okay, so apart from the fact like this guy just must just sit on fucking email, sending emails all day long. This is just the conversations they're having with him. Right, so you take any of these like bad guys, and this is just their conversations with him. What, you reckon he's the only person they're talking to? Like, this is like, if you think about it, like if you just think of like all our communications, but then think about who else you speak to on a day-to-day basis, and then who else I speak to on a day-to-day. So like our, you know, you could take everything in these and multiply it out by orders of magnitude.
Speaking of, right, they had the thing for Ghislaine Maxwell this week.
Oh yeah.
And she pled the fifth,
As you should.
saying
Get out early.
saying that she'll talk if she gets immunity, presumably from further prosecution, because she's already going to be in for 20 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she's about my age, I think. She's in her 50s, I'm sure. So, you know, if she's seeking immunity from further prosecution and already has a 20-year stretch ahead, then God knows what she's got.
It's the joke online is like the only person in jail for all of this right now is the woman, and which is just classic fucking sexism, I think.
To be fair, he was in jail until he mysteriously took his own life.
It does feel more plausible now that it was definitely assisted.
Yeah, it's funny how these things happen. I actually, Lorna messaged me to say, "Have you been keeping up on all this Epstein stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah." What do you think about it? I said, "I think as soon as she agrees to speak, she'll be dead within about a month." And I'm not one for conspiracy theories. I'm genuinely not, because most of them are absolute nonsense. But here's the thing. Whenever you're decrying a conspiracy theory, you say to people, think about this logically. When people talk about the conspiracy theory about the Twin Towers and all of that, say, just think how many people that would involve and how many people that means not talking about this. In a world where everybody is bleating about everything into a camera, hello, Mum, every minute of every fucking day. And you think those thousands of people, and then you look at the Epstein thing and you think, Jesus Christ, all those people kept quiet about this. Except there's another clip going around, Ian Hislop, the editor of Private Eye in the UK, saying, hang on, we covered all this Epstein stuff like 15 years ago. And that's mind-blowing. And the guy was convicted. And that didn't put anybody off. And nobody has come forward and said, you'll never guess what's still happening. Like, if I'd committed anything like those crimes, I'd be having to report into my local frigging police station for the rest of my life.
Oh, the system's rigged, mate. The system's totally rigged for rich people. 100%. 100%.
I do have some issues with that, though.
It depends where you say it. It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be in those files.
Yeah, but it is a fun game. Start throwing names into people, you know, see if they're in there. Turns out his gardener and my dad have the same name, which the name pops up, and I'm like, what?
You searched for your dad in there.
I was just throwing in names. See what happens.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, we're talking some real scumbags, but I think even they would balk at my dad being involved.
Anyway, but yeah, that's
I don't know how we got onto that. Michael Dugher, Andrew Rhodes, Jeffrey Epstein. What? But we always say the conversation goes where it goes.
We should call this episode "Not in the Epstein Files."
Yes, these losers are not in the Epstein Files. The losers episode.
The levers.
So good times. Good times. Yeah. Now, what was that thing? There was an affiliate bought, or was an affiliate deal announced And it was something like, I can't have a laugh when I say the price. It's at 1.2 billion, which is like, that is some stellar negotiating there.
Fucking glorious.
And I think it's something like 900 million
It-
cash.
Yeah, 900. Well, no, 800 million cash, 100 million shares. So there's 900 million upfront, and then 300 million on the earnout, 2-year earnout.
Yeah, because everybody there's going to be going, oh, we've got to make the earnout. I can't settle with this 800 million in cash.
Yeah, yeah. So for the people not following, so there's an unlisted affiliate called Legend, which would own, probably the most famous website would be casino.org. So historically they've been very private company, very media shy. They don't, they're just very discreet and just kind of go about their business, which I can really respect. Excellent operators, like I don't know the company, don't know people that well there, but the few people I do know there are excellent people.
Well, didn't you send me a link to one of the? Isn't casino.org one of theirs?
Yeah, so casino.org is one of theirs.
And that is excellent. When I was doing the daily newsletter with the Gaming Boardroom, I would frequently link to their news stories because they were getting stuff before any of the legacy media outlets.
It's I think casino.org for a long time was like the benchmark for a well-rounded casino affiliate website. And it ranked number one in Google for online casino in most countries. Right? They were excellent at SEO and did a brilliant job, like super smart. So they've been bought by Genius. Genius have really talked up the sports assets. So Legend would own, I want to say, covers.com.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Which were, their assets that they bought, the Legend would have bought in America. I want to say they were owned by XL or somebody a while ago. But anyway, they're kind of well-established sports tipping comparison websites in the US.
Yeah, very.
But I would, the breakdown wasn't provided, but my guess would be the majority of revenue would be casino. Just because that's, I think, the historical basis for Legend. So yeah, it was surprising to see so much emphasis on the sports assets, and which obviously from a market narrative perspective you probably have to do, but it's a big casino business too.
Now I've got a question for you that I think the entire industry is wanting to ask. Do you think you sold Bonus Finder too soon?
No, I think the timing was.
Could you have gotten an extra billion?
No, we were nowhere near the size of Legend. Like, not even fucking, like, we're rounding error compared to Legend. Compared to Legend, we were a small affiliate.
It's still, I mean, it's a crazy big deal, but the part of it that had me chuckling for days was the share price on the announcement of the deal.
Yeah, so
was it 28% it fell, or 23?
In the 20s anyway. Yeah, I think reading online commentary, the consensus seems to be around disclosures. So like more information on what they're buying and why. Actually, all my earnings and more covered it really well. So I think there was a couple of key points. One was just general disclosures, like what are you buying, makeup of the assets, what geos is the revenue coming from and stuff. Part of it was Genius. Their forecasts were kind of, so like obviously you're buying this business, you're buying top line revenue and you're buying profit, right, at the same time. Genius reckon. So basically, I think it moved forward Genius's targets by a couple of years. So you're paying 1.2 billion for something that you could have hit organically anyway in a couple of years. And then there's, debt needs to be raised to pay for it. Right now, the stock market's in anything but software, kind of basically anything that AI could be destroying right now. So if you look at all the major software companies, they're all taking an absolute hammering. So I think just the day the announcement was made was probably one of the worst days to pick.
I'm listening. I'm just crinkling at the same time.
That's okay. And then I think particularly for SEO assets, the market tends to overreact or underreact, and I think right now the market's overreacting to SEO assets. So buying a large SEO affiliate, the market's got a particular view of where that's going to go as well. So it was kind of a bunch of things that just all coincided. Look, it's good assets, it's a good team. If you can convince the team to stick around, because you need affiliates to run affiliate assets. That's a tough gig for the long term. So I think there's definitely going to be some challenges they'll face, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of the negativity just comes from the scale of that price tag. It's like, Liverpool Football Club, who I am no fan of. They bought a midfielder from Stoke years ago called Joe Allen, right? And Allen is a no-frills kind of player. He's exactly the kind of player that you build a team around. He's a central midfielder and he never loses the ball. And that's the first thing you want to do in a team. You want to keep hold of the ball. He's the guy that dictates play. Not in a flashy way. You barely notice he's there. But back when they bought him, he cost them something like 20 million, which when they bought him was a huge amount of money. Stoke knew what they were doing when they sold him, basically. They knew it's Liverpool Football Club. They need a player like this. Fans got on his back straight away because he's not a dribbler. He's not a spectacular player. He is just the kind of guy in the middle of the pitch that you build the team around. He was gone in season and a half, I think. Fans got on his back and he's not a Liverpool player. The team was hemorrhaging goals, wasn't winning anything. Exactly the kind of guy that you need to build foundations on. And in the fans' eyes, he was overpriced. They should have been buying a fucking striker or whatever. And they didn't build the team around him. All I'm saying is that the price tag can sometimes mask that you're buying exactly what you need, but the seller recognizes that you need it. And at the negotiating table, that pushes the price up.
Look, the negotiation was a masterclass in price extraction, for sure.
Price extraction, is that an executive term?
I don't know. Just it's the only way.
No, that works.
Good podcast. So look, if you're a genius, you're spending a fortune on NFL rights and data rights and stuff. What Genius and Radar are doing, part of their business model is if you're buying our data, we're also going to sell you marketing services, access to inventory is important.
They bring an enormous database.
You got legacy recurring rev share, stuff like that. So it's, but
reputation. I mean, you're buying reputation, you're buying integrity, you're buying all of these things. You're not just buying a domain; you're buying everything that's gone into that for God knows how many years.
Yeah, for sure.
But Fintan, I want to just raise one little point here. This is the second episode in a row where we haven't had a guest.
I was wondering.
And I don't want to worry our sponsors.
Why would our sponsors be worried?
Well, Fintan, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but today's episode is brought to you by Gaming Laboratories International.
Really?
Yeah. GLI is because that's what we call them.
Yeah.
It's a world-class testing, inspections, and certification company committed to delivering the highest quality land-based lottery and iGaming testing and assessment services around the world.
Around the world?
Yeah, around the world. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you just how around the world. GLI, they provide suppliers, operators, and regulators with expert guidance for navigating the future of gaming and ensuring gaming innovations meet regulatory standards with confidence in more than 710 jurisdictions.
No way.
710, Fintan.
I didn't even know there was that many countries.
Well, there are less countries than that, but jurisdictions. I mean, the US has got 50, hasn't it?
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
Spain's got like 8 or 9. You know what I mean?
Really? Okay.
But also, it's worth saying that if you do want a bit more information about that, you could visit gaminglabs.com. You know, speaking of valuable domains.
That is a valuable domain.
Yeah. So I guess Clarion, they've all got their... Let me just double check this, right? Because I got an email from somebody at Clarion earlier. I mean, I say Clarion.
Oh, no, what are they called now? World Gaming?
World Gaming, yeah. Which obviously you know because they're one of our sponsors. But I'm just gonna check what email address it came from. No, that's interesting. It's not a worldgaming.com.
It takes a while to transition that. I've had to do a rebranding once, and it's a pain in the arse.
I am slightly disappointed though, but I mean, I'm not. It's not a diss, but yeah. So World Gaming, the artist formerly known as Clarion.
Alex is gonna love that. No, I really will. I think he's gonna love that.
TAFCAC. I think we can just abbreviate that to. Yeah. So World Gaming, TAFCAC. They're one of our sponsors, and they've got they're going to be working towards old IGB Live in London in July, aren't they?
They sure are.
Yeah, we're all excited about that. Well, you probably are.
Yeah, I am actually. London in July, perfect.
Yeah, London is kind of fun in the summer. I quite like London in the autumn as well, but ICE London January/February. It was always a bit of a grind. You know, it was always very cold and very damp.
Yeah.
But then the whole island is. So World Gaming, TAFCAC. And we also are sponsored by Fintan, I'll let you take this one.
So we're also sponsored by the wonderful people at Optimove.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I didn't rewrite this.
Have you got the?
I've got the official copy.
Okay.
I'm gonna edit a little bit.
Shit.
So what I'd recommend is people should discover how operators are using Optimove's positionless marketing platform to launch personalized CRM campaigns, which is really difficult to do when you think about it.
It is.
Personalized campaigns to all your customers.
It's difficult. And customer retention is more important
Not
than
just
anything
CRM
now.
campaigns though. You can dynamically change casino lobbies, you can dynamically change bet slips, and you can create engaged, gamified experiences.
Crazy.
All right. If you go to Optimove, you can learn more.
Optimove.com.
Optimove.com. But they've got an event coming up, which is world class. So to bring it to life, Optimove Connect is coming back to London, March 11th and 12th, 2026. It's the only user conference where marketers from around the world share real-world results of positionless marketing and how it's driving efficiency and ROI. You can register at connect.optimove.com.
Well, that is good
That's
news.
March 11th, March 12th. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it last year. I'm going to try and make it this year. It looks brilliant. They get some world-class speakers in. If you're in marketing, and even if you're not using Optimove, I think it's just worth going. It's really, really great to see what they're doing, and they put on a fantastic event. So definitely worth looking at.
Speaking of fantastic events, I'm heading to Vegas at the end of May.
What?
And I just want to big up this event that I'm going to. I'm going to the University of Nevada in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
They are hosting the 19th International Conference on Gambling and Risk-Taking.
Okay.
They've invited me to speak at the bungee jumping seminar.
What's the seminar for bungee jumping? What? How do I do this? What?
Well, that's what you know.
You got to do
isn't
bungee
it?
jump?
No, I don't have to.
Oh, I do bungee jump.
I'm there to talk.
Fucking bungee jump. Wild bungee jumping.
God, I remember years ago, like when G2E Asia was in the Space Needle in the Macau Tower. It was like up top of the Macau Tower, which, you know, it's a Space Needle. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And there was a chap there who he'd been in Macau for a few years. Let's say 2 years, just to be on the safe side. He hadn't been there that long, and he was bored out of his mind because there was a small sort of English community there, suppliers, that kind of thing, and they'd all meet in the same bar and have the same conversation. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're not lovely people. Like the people that I knew there were, you know, really lovely. But he was just getting really bored, and there'd be a screening of an English language movie somewhere once a week, and, you know, things like that. But basically, he would go and bungee jump off the Macau Tower weekly,
just to feel something.
just because he was so bored.
That or heroin, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's taken the right path there. And he's going to be my guest speaker at the bungee jumping seminar. No, I am attending so this conference. It's every 3 years, and this year it's at the Bellagio, which is pretty sweet.
Sure is.
I've never stayed there, but it sounds like the kind of place you'd stay.
Yeah, good hotel, is it?
Apparently. I don't know. I'm always in the shit ones over the road. But no, it's basically it's a conference for researchers and academics, and they can apply to present new papers and stuff like that. So it's like it's the brains trust of RG, I suppose, is going to be there. I'm pretty excited, and I'm going to be attending with my co-host on our other podcast, Addiction, An Hour with Hour. Going to be attending with Dr. Michael Hour, who is presenting some papers there, I think.
Ooh.
But we're going to be recording podcasts while we're there.
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about that. I think it's going to be sweet. We're not going to be podcasting live because there are union restrictions.
Really?
Yes. Big time.
Why?
It comes under audio-visual unions. And it's about live broadcast.
Oh, so you'd have to have a union rep on hand to do stuff or something like that as well.
And union people setting stuff up. And...
Well, not a union rep, but yeah, union people like plugging in your phone.
Yeah, totally.
Interesting.
Which I would think would be prohibitively expensive. But I'll be
outside our budget, I know that much.
I'll be taking my laptop and microphone, and that will be yeah. But I'm very excited. But it looks like it's going to be a fantastic event. You can find out about it. I'm not going to read out the whole domain, but if you go to unlv.edu, you can find information about the event there. And yeah, it's pretty sexy, and you can register. I'm not going to tell you how much it costs because that looks quite a lot to me. It looks quite a lot to me, but my standards are not the norm. But no, it's a beautiful 3-day conference, May 26th to 28th, and as I say, myself and Michael will be there. And it's basically it's the RG conference equivalent of the Epstein files. Basically, if your name's not down, you're a loser. That's the.
You could have chose the Super Bowl, mate. You could have said Super Bowl instead of the Epstein files.
I could have chosen the Panama Papers, Fintan. I could have chosen anything. I could have chosen shitting your pants, and it would have been a better thing.
Because I think we're linking too many things to the Epstein files right now. Even just
We
in
are.
a loose way.
I must sound worried. I'm definitely.
First name I
Yeah.
put in.
Did you put my name or my name as it appears in your phone?
All variations thereof.
I was going to say, I don't think Beef Cheeks is going to be in the Epstein files.
Oh, it's in the Epstein files. It's just not talking about you.
Yeah, it's in the Epstein files now. Anyway. So those are our beautiful sponsors. And also check out that UNLV event because I think it's going to be pretty sexy.
Yeah.
And as I say, it's only held every 3 years. So it's sort of like the
World Cup. The World Cup of RG, John. God, the analogy was there for the taking. Oh
my God. Hey, speaking of the World Cup, this might be the first time we've ever teased the next episode on a podcast.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do it.
I think you should. Our next episode's about the World Cup.
No, I'm not doing it.
I think what we should do is, because I remember a couple. This is the World Cup in America, right? Or in the Americas.
Yeah.
All right. So you had a very strong opinion about this World Cup a while ago.
Did I?
About how big a deal it's going to be.
I do think it's going to be a big deal.
And I'm massively cynical to that.
Are you still?
Yeah, I don't like it's. If you look at the time, like I don't know. Some say like the match timings just don't work for Europeans. Like it's just completely.
That's the point, though. They don't have to work for Europeans. We'll still all be invested in it. North America's already hosted a World Cup, and it was huge. And don't tell me it wasn't, because you're Irish, and that was the big one.
It was big in Ireland for sure.
Of course it was. And it was in North America. It doesn't matter, because we're already invested. The point is that this one is going to be huge for North America. It's going to be the biggest, their domestic leagues are all doing good. Men's game and the women's game. It doesn't need any heralding in Mexico. They're already football mad. And, for America and Canada, this is going to be a big deal.
Okay.
And we're going to see that in Handel. And I don't mean the composer.
Fair enough.
And this is where it could get really interesting. I bet you that all of the prediction markets people are gearing right up for this.
Oh yeah, but sure. Look, they're betting on is Jesus coming back, right? So there's.
If there's a market, there's a market.
But you can also then bet on the. So not only can you bet on the is Jesus coming back in 2026, you can also bet on the You can place bets on what the will Jesus come back market do. So you're basically there's derivative.
You can short the market.
There's no. You can derivative bet. Yeah, so basically you can go. It'll get above 5% probability, right? So you can bet on what the market's gonna. So there's the market, and then there's the derivative betting of what that market's gonna do. So it's starting to eat its own tail. Well, actually, it's just starting to replicate the actual stock market, right? Because that's just options trading or stuff like that. And so yeah, it's quite interesting.
Of course, the other thing about America is that culturally, it's very much a melting pot, and there are plenty of migrants, etc., who are football crazy and football crazy communities within North America. So there is already a well established customer base.
But with ICE, the customs guys stalking the streets. I think they're going to be watching it at home.
I could not
I was reading about an Irish
possibly
guy
comment on that.
who had in America in America legally, had been there for like 20 years, had a business, American wife, green card application, had all the correct visas and stuff, and he spent the last 5 months in a detention center in Texas. So, there's lots of those kind of like things going on in America right now. Stuff.
Only 5 months though. He's doing okay. But in Texas, I hope they've got aircon.
Who knows? Who knows?
Anyway, yes, we've got friend of the podcast, Jeevan Jarayatnam from what are they called?
Ableton Odds.
Yeah,
Ableton, I think.
Yeah, it's Ableton, but I can't remember if he's Odds or Info or you know what I mean. But yes, we've got Jeevan coming on. And yes, top man. And also, you might be able to, mention the Gambling Book Awards because he was there.
He was there, and he got some really good feedback for us as well.
He did, very, very positive.
He's a very thoughtful person.
Yeah, he's a nice chap.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. So that's us for this week. Guests resume from next week, and hopefully the week after. It's the lottery of life. Just before we go, have you heard any good jokes lately?
Have I heard any good jokes lately?
No, me neither. So until the next episode. If you've enjoyed this episode of the Gambling Files podcast, please find us on LinkedIn. Give us a big, juicy, succulent like. That nearly went wrong. You can find us under the name The Gambling Files Podcast. You can find us on Twitter under The Gambling Files. I think the handle is just @GamblingFiles. You can connect to myself, John Bruford, or Fintan Costello, also on LinkedIn. We're also both on Twitter. And you can find all of our previous episodes at www.thegamblingfiles.com. If you enjoyed it, please share. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your colleagues, and we'll see you next time.